quarter, everything started clicking. We started moving the ball, scoring a few touchdowns, getting back within distance. And then with about 4 minutes to go, we found ourselves down by 20 points. We ended up getting the ball, scoring, getting the onside kick, scoring again. Tried another onside kick. It didn't work. They got it back, but we stopped them finally. I mean, we had a tough time stopping them all night. With James and Dickerson were running all over the field. But defense, stood up and stopped them, and we ended up blocking their punt. And then I believe there was about 18 seconds left in the game, time for about 3 plays. And the first 2 plays were just kind of a waste. And then there was 3 seconds left on the clock. And, we called a play that we practiced every week called Save the Game Pass, which it definitely did, which basically everybody just goes to the middle. Everybody just goes to the middle of the field, and the first guy there tries to tip it, and somebody's got to catch it. And the way it worked out, the ball came right down into Clay Brown's hands, my tight end, with about 3 or 4 of SMU guys around him. And I don't think they ever touched the ball. And Clay came up with it, and we scored, and the kicker came in, kicked the extra point. We ended up winning by 1 point. So it was a pretty exciting finish for sure.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I saw that. Man, you must have had a gun right there, man. You tossed that friggin' thing like nobody's business. That was just like a straight shot. Like, it was
back then it was my shoulder wasn't all that bad back then, so it was feeling pretty good. I only threw it, I think it was about 60 yards in the air, which I probably had another 10 in me, but over the years, now I couldn't throw it over the railing behind me right now. So.
Oh, sure you could.
But no, these shoulders have not been well for the last few years. But I had a bunch of stem cells put in December, and body's starting to feel a little bit better.
That's good to hear. I know you were having trouble with everything that was going on with you, and I saw the documentary with the 85 Bears, and you looked like you were in tough shape. And I'm glad to hear that you're doing well now, better than you were.
Yeah, well, much better. I actually got diagnosed. I got a doctor in New York that I go see. I haven't been to see him in about 5 months due to this. Everybody's locked down, but hopefully get back to see him soon because I'm starting to have headaches again. But overall, at least I know what's going on with my brain. A lot of guys don't. They have a lot of frustration, a lot of denial, and a lot of bad thoughts go through your head. And I had those same thoughts, but at least now they know what's going on. So it's not a cure-all, but it definitely helps me get by for about 3 months at a time.
Well, again, I'm glad that you're aware of what you're going through and all that type of stuff. And so is it harder now to like think about big games, or are you still like just, you just remember all the great times and, all your players you were with? I mean, you played with legends. I mean, like Otis Wilson, like Mike Singletary, like the Fridge, like everybody, man. Like they're so.
I played for 7 different teams, played with a lot of great players. Had a good time. I got to last in the league for 15 years, and I got two Super Bowl rings from the 2 oldest franchises in the league. So it's kind of an exciting thing. And I retired. What was it, 23 years ago? And so it's been quite a long time since I've had to strap it up and play. But I still have a lot of great memories of all the people I play with and all the fun that we had.
Yeah. I mean, watching you like just scramble and you were like nobody's seen anything like that before. And then you came into the league and you were doing all sorts of stuff. Like you were doing backflips and like crazy stuff like that. Like you would get through.
I couldn't do a backflip.
Like nothing.
I got flipped over a few times, but I can't do a backflip now.
Well, it looked like you were. Well, my other thing is for you, Jim, is like, so in that Super Bowl 20, like you won 46-10. I mean, how did you feel just like blowing them out? Like, did you feel bad, or was it just like we deserve this. Like, we just play the way we do.
No, we didn't feel bad at all. That was our goal the whole season, was get to the Super Bowl and win it. We had lost the NFC Championship game the year before, so we were a good football team, and we wanted to finish the year strong, and that was probably about as strong as we could be in that day.
Yeah, I think
Defensively,
so.
we dominated. Offensively, we did what we wanted. So it was a nice ending to a tough year. Even though we were 15-1, it was pretty tough on us. Dicka was no fun to play for when things didn't go right. So the next couple of years we did well too. The following year we were 14-2. It wasn't like we went away. We were still a damn good football team. Should have won the Super Bowl again that year. The next year, I believe we were 11-5, and the year after that, we were 12-4. So we had home field advantage 4 straight years, and we just didn't take advantage of it. We should have won more than one Super Bowl, but we won a lot of games in that 5-year stretch.
You sure did. I mean, with the Super Bowl in '96, I mean, I know I'm going back and forth, but in the Super Bowl in '96, or even that season, like, did you feel like your career was getting to the point where you were okay to be the backup with Brett Favre, or was it just like you were enjoying your last time on the field?
No. If you enjoy being a backup, you shouldn't be playing. And I didn't like watching. I would have loved to play in that offense. It was a lot of fun offense to play in. It was very similar to what I did at BYU. We got to throw the ball quite a bit. So, it would have been nice to continue on and play. I quit when I was 37. I probably could have played a few more years, but I had promised my daughter, who was getting close to getting to high school, that I said, when you get to high school, that I'll retire. And so you guys can stay in one spot and finish out, be at this one school for 4 years, because they had to travel everywhere that I played. And so for the first half of the school year, they would be going to school wherever I was playing at. And that was kind of rough on them for the first, I think they did that 8 years in a row. So it was tough on them, but I think they enjoyed the experience of moving around the country, meeting new people. They still have a lot of friends in all the places that we went. And but I decided that then I said, okay, I'm done. I promised you that I quit when you got to high school. So all my kids were raised in Chicago, and they all went to the same high school, and they've got a lot of great memories there.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear you're a family man. And, it seems like you had a big family with every team you've been on. I mean, especially the golden Super Bowl year of '85. I mean, there's so much I would want to talk to you about, but you probably talked about it so many times. I mean, like, what was your fondest memory? Was it giving Roselle the old, all right, I'll wear your last name on my headband, or something like that?
No, I just enjoyed my time. I mean, I did a lot of things that the press, I guess, got a little upset about. I did those things to amuse myself. And if they got pissed, they got pissed. I didn't really care. You go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, you get home at 6. You got to do all these, your meetings all day, then you practice, and you got to lift weights, and you got to get treatment. I mean, it's a never-ending cycle, and I did it for 15 years, and that was plenty. But I have a lot of great memories of that Super Bowl and the year. But just being around those guys, I mean, we had a bunch of great guys on that team, and I'm still close friends with pretty much every one of them. So I'll get to see a few guys every time I'm back in Chicago. I get to see a couple guys, and then I see a few others around the country at different golf events that I go to. So. We stay in touch, and, we have a great time when we get together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And, what was it like to play with Walter Peyton?
Great. It was an awesome teammate, great football player, never said a word in the huddle, never said, give me the ball, do this, do that. I mean, he went out there every day, did his job, and he did it as good or better than anybody that's ever played that position. So it was amazing to watch. I'd give him especially the first couple of years when I got there, because we were not very good on the offensive line for my first 2 years, and it was it was a struggle for him. And you know, I'd give him the ball and I'd watch him make a 30-yard run that only gained about 2 yards. You know, he'd be bouncing off guys from one sideline to the other. He never ran out of bounds. I mean, he was going to hit somebody. You had to tackle him, and he didn't like to be tackled, and that was his specialty.
Yeah, I mean, I could only watch highlights of him, you know, because I was younger back then. I don't even think I was born yet. But like to see the highlights of you and Walter and Singletary and Otis Wilson and like McMichael, like you guys just hammered people, and you yourself were like, I don't mean to be a jerk, but like you'd be like, Dicka, come on, like you want me to do this play, but I just gave you like a 60-yard like play or a touchdown. Like, come on.
Yeah, we didn't always agree. You know, but we had the same goal, and that was to win. We just had you know, different opinions on how to do that. You know, he thought he was an offensive coordinator, which he was not. He was a tight end when he played, and that's how he called plays, like a tight end. I mean, he didn't really know how to set things up, and he'd get frustrated if I didn't call the play he sent in, or if I changed the play he sent in. But you know, I told him, I said, hey, I'm trying to win ball games. If it's making you mad, then you know, take me out, trade me. You know, I never had a problem moving around. I always had confidence in my ability. So, you know, I played, like I said, for 7 different teams, and you know, I never thought I was the backup anywhere I went. So that's the mentality you got to have in order to get to that position.
Absolutely. And I mean, I saw you probably like in the latter of your career. I mean, I'm from New England, so of course, like you kicked our
I
ass
would have never
twice.
guessed it with that accent.
I mean, you
I
kicked
got a
our
lot of
ass.
New England. Well, actually, only a couple of friends in New England. Mike Ruzioni out of
Oh
Boston,
yeah,
real hockey player.
Miracle on Ice goal scorer. Yep.
Yeah, and Dr. Uma Donabalan. She's a Harvard-trained physician up there in Boston, or outside of Boston, and we've done a lot of cannabis conventions together. She's awesome.
Yeah, I heard about that. So, is it a big help for you with the cannabis stuff? I mean,
It gets
like I
me
know
through
you're
every day.
endorsing it pretty well.
Yeah, it gets me through every day. Now, I haven't had a pain pill in 20 years, so yeah, it's a godsend for me and a lot of people. You know, those painkillers are bad. Those opioids are
Yeah.
addictive. Excuse me, and they've killed people. Whereas cannabis has never killed anybody.
Right.
And we have receptors. We have receptors in our body for it. We're supposed to be using this plant. And so, you know, I've always enjoyed it. I started back in 1973. I had my first joint. So back then, I didn't know how good it was for me. I didn't know about the endocannabinoid system and all that. I just knew it helped me sleep, it helped me eat, and it helped me feel better. And Dr. Uma was explaining to me about how the plant actually works, and she goes, "That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you feel better." So, yeah, I'm big time proponent of that, and getting people off their pills. I've got a lot of guys that still are dealing with a lot of injuries and problems, and I'm trying to get them off these pain pills and get them onto something natural, and you know, hopefully they'll change their minds.
Absolutely. And like you said, back in 1973, you smoked your first one. You know, at that time, you didn't know what type of like cannabis you had, you know, like it was just like you smoked a joint. It's not like you had like different kinds of like medicinal marijuana they have now where they grow it.
There wasn't a whole lot of options back then.
No, no. Now it's
But
indica.
it was from Northern California, so it was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time how good it was for my body, and you know, it's an anti-inflammatory. It's actually a neuroprotectant. So anybody that's been, you know, beating their head against the wall should be using this, and I think the NFL has finally come around to let their players, you know, go back to using it. or continue using it, who's ever involved. But it's a hell of a lot better than the pills that you have to take to play.
Now, is it like, did you have a
These
joining
bugs are
with the
killing me
NFL?
out here. Say that again.
I was just saying, for the cannabis, did you like help the NFL, like influence them, like, hey, like this is gonna help our guys on the field. This is, instead of taking pain pills, like you said, like I mean, was it like trainers back then and stuff? Were they like, hey, like take a bunch of these, like these will help you, type of thing?
Well, you can get pretty much whatever you needed back then. But yeah, the trainers aren't involved. They're not really involved in handing out stuff. It's got to be doctors, but nowadays it does for sure. But back then, there used to be bowls with pills in them. Uppers, downers, whatever hurt, there was a pill for it, and they were very readily available. But I'm sure now they monitor it a lot, and who knows? Like I said, I've been out 23 years, so it wasn't all that big a deal, the marijuana back in the day. I remember my first couple of years in the league. I remember, smoking the night before the drug test, and nobody cared. And then all of a sudden, I think it was the mid '80s when Lenny Bias passed away, and I think it was Don Rogers from the Browns closely after that, and that was all cocaine related. But they really cracked down after that and said you can't do any of this. So, but I never failed a drug test, and there was never an issue. Nothing was ever brought up to me about what they found in my urine test or anything like that. So, but back then we also knew when the test was going to be. As soon as you came to camp, you're going to get tested. So,
right.
The smart people, June 1st would quit and then give themselves 45 days to let it get out of your system, and then once you passed your test, then you're all good. The only thing they could test you for the rest of the year was steroids. That's how crazy the drug policy was. I mean, you could, if you were clean on your first test, you could actually sit and smoke a joint in front of the guy, do a line of cocaine, and they couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, no.
That's how crazy the rule was. But who knows what it is now. But I'm glad I'm out. that's way in my past now. I got grandkids now I have to worry about, and
I got
a lot of other things, totally and a bad golf game. So
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, the game's changed now. I just remember, like, from when I was a kid, like, I'd see stuff like Todd Marinovich and like stuff like that. He was doing all types of shit. Like, they're only focusing on like the per se stars of the time. Like, what's he doing? Like, is he like Dennis Rodman is to the Bulls? Like, what he's drinking the shit out of beer or like whatever. But like it was pretty much just like you do your 45 days and then like, okay, I got to be clean like the rest of the time.
Yeah, once you're 45 days up, yeah, you're good. Like I said, once you pass your test, you can do whatever you want. That's how it was. That's how it used to be. What time you got there, brother? I gotta get rolling here soon.
All right, bro. Yeah, I got 4:30. So I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for coming on. And just one more question for you, just a quick one. So, would you prefer Saturdays at BYU or Sundays at any field you were at? Maybe especially Soldier Field.
It wouldn't have mattered if I was playing. As long as I wasn't hurt, I could play. Yeah, game day is game day, and that's what you look forward to. That's what you go through all the work for. Is Saturday afternoon, or Friday night, Saturday afternoon, or Saturday night, or Sunday, or Monday, or Thursday nowadays. Pretty soon there'll be a game every day of the week, probably.
Well, Jim, thanks again, and honored to speak with you. And good luck with everything. And stay healthy, stay safe.
All right, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.